Okay. Thank you very much, Rosemary. So we can begin today's session. If you looked at the invitation, you must have seen that today we are tackling a very interesting topic, Introduction to Artificial Intelligence with MIT App Inventor. And we have our facilitator ready. And our facilitator today is Grace Irungu, all the way from Mombasa. So Grace, karibu, and you can take it up from here.
Thank you very much, Madam Carrier. Now, today we are going to be looking at Introduction to Artificial Intelligence with the MIT App Inventor. Now, if you'll allow me, let me present my screen. Now, I'm going to be dealing with the MIT App Inventor, and then I have Fred, who's later to come up and talk about artificial intelligence. So now, for starters, I had a presentation here, Introduction to Artificial Intelligence and the MIT App Inventor. Now, for those of you who have done anything to do with computing or computing course, there was programming that you guys did. And if you remember very well, programming in terms of coding, in terms of design, and we actually even teach it in Form 3, where we have the system development. Now I'm looking at an app or a platform that actually helps you as a teacher or you as a developer come up with programs or an application within 30 to 40 minutes. So the MIT App Inventor, I have an introduction here. If you can see, this is basically the VB, the visual programming environment. It allows everyone, even children, to build up fully functional apps for smartphones and tablets. So in simple terms, this is an app, or this is a platform that has made app creation very simple. Now,
Excuse
here
me?
I'm just, yes?
Excuse me, can you maybe bring your slide in the presentable mode? The slides, you put in a presentable mode so you can see.
Yeah. There you go. Here. So
yeah, now it's okay.
Now it's okay. Okay, now what happens is this is a platform that has been made to help you as an app creator, as an app developer, to make it as simple as possible, because it's basically a series of drag and drop. Hopefully, by the time we are getting to the end of this, you will learn how to do this. Now, for you to do this, there are two things that you will need. There are three ways in which you can, sorry about that. There are three ways in which you can connect. One, you will need an Android device and a Wi-Fi connection. That is both of them, the laptop and your phone or the Android device, whether it's a tablet, to be connected to the same Wi-Fi connection. If you don't have an Android device, you can use the emulator. And if you don't have Wi-Fi, the one thing you can do is to build an app. You build the app using the Android and connect it to the USB cable. I'm going to take you through all three. And if you'll allow me, I need to show you something here. I usually don't have a lot of slides because I want us to have more of demonstration and practical than the theory part. So we have what is called the app, the MIT. So you'll just go to your browser and you search for App Inventor. One, you have to have a Google account, because once you open it, it's going to say create apps. Now, when it comes to creating apps, there are two. Like I said, there are three methods. Either you're on Wi-Fi. If you don't have a Wi-Fi, you use an emulator. If you don't have an emulator, you use the USB cable. Now, once I click on Create App, it's going to ask me to link up with my Gmail account, of which I'm going to link it up. Now, I'm going to be highlighting the USB. Now, these are just sample apps that I have been working on. Now, I want to show you how to link up the MIT App Inventor with your phone. Now, if you're using a USB cable, which I would suggest you, if you don't have Wi-Fi to use, this is how you're gonna go about it. Now, I want to present something here. Now, this is an application where I've installed the sorry. And that machine is hanging. Oh boy. Now, this is a machine where I've already installed the Appinventor. So it's a downloadable file, an executable file, which I will share the link later on. You're going to download it and install it. Now, once you install it, you have your mobile device. Now, with your mobile device, I'm pretty sure not, when you look at the settings for your mobile device, it has not been set to allow for USB debugging. So what will happen is you will go to your settings, your mobile settings. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you via phone. That I don't think I'll be able to, but I can write the settings. I'll write down a slide how to go about it. You go to your phone, you go to the settings, and where you're seeing about phone, you click there, and for the in terms of the device, you click there 7 times, the device model, 7 times until you see your phone telling you that you're now using the developer mode. When you're in developer mode, it is going to help you to be able to link up USB debugging with your phone. Once you've done that, you will come to the tester. Now, I have connected my phone. To my laptop, and as you can see, it first checks whether there is the AI starter that is running, and if yes, now it's going to check if my phone is connected via USB. Now, please, whenever you plug in your USB, make sure you plug it in not for charging or photos, but as a media storage or transfer file. So now we are waiting to see whether it's going to click up for USB. Like it's not responding. I have no idea why. So now it is checking, so we are still waiting for it to respond. So if you see it taking time, you go back to your settings, and where you're going to see developer options, make sure that the USB debugging is on. I'm trying to see why it's not linking up, because now it's saying USB connection. Yes. So as we are waiting for this, I will show you how to go about it. So as we are waiting for this, I'm just going to open a new tab here. I have a new tab here, and I'm going to be dealing with the MIT App Inventor. So I'm looking at a series of drag and drop controls that you're going to be using. So now I'm hoping like you have decided on what application or what it is you're going to be dealing with. So once you come to the site, you are, oh yeah, and for those who are very interested, there is a hackathon that is going to be happening next month. Please sign up. The deadline is almost, as you can see, it's only a few days to the deadline of the signing up. So click on Create App. And then you're going to get the site here. Wow, that is ridiculous. Uh-huh. So now, what you're going to do is you're going to start a new project. Click on Start a Project. So let's start a new project. You give your project a name. Like, let's say we are dealing with a quiz. Once you say, you click on OK. And then there are two modes here. This is how your screen is going to appear. So the title of your project, let's make this currently. Oh, it's because I have another. So here's my quiz. So the title of my project is quiz. And at the very top here, you can see I have my first screen. If I want to add a screen, I'll just click on that. And then I'll have these two buttons here. There is the block, which is what we are saying. This is how your screen will appear, as you can see here. Now, depending on the font size, now if it's font size, we're looking at the 5 inches. You can either do tablets, or if you want to do for the monitor, you can do a monitor. So depending on what it is you're working on, you can choose. Now for us, we want to deal with the app, so we can choose the font size. Now when it comes to blocks, this is the interface, the one that you're creating, how your screen will appear when a person logs in or when a person opens it on your phone or on their phone. So at this side here, which is the extreme left, you have all the buttons and the controls that you need. If you're dealing with the user interface, you have the buttons, the checkboxes, and all that. You can come to layout in terms of how you want your screen to appear. If you want it to be horizontal, tablet, or whichever it is. If you want to include media, that is either a video or a player or a sound, you just they're there under media. You're doing drawing, there's a canvas or the sprite, the image sprite that you might want to include. If your app will want anything to do with maps, they're there. So they're all this, even...
Sorry, Grace, we are not seeing your screen. Eh?
You're not seeing my screen?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I thought I was presenting. Sorry about that. Thank you for notifying me that. Now can you see it?
Yes, it's visible.
Visible. So now once you click on the MIT App Inventor, this is your window. This is where you'll be working at. You have the name of the app or whatever it is you're working on. We labeled it quiz. And then depending on how many screens that you want, you can add them up here. So far we only have the first one, which is screen 1. You can rename it. If you want to add a screen, we'll be clicking on that to add. And then for right now, we're dealing with blocks because now we're looking at the interface or the visual aspect of your app or how it will be looking at as when people are working on their phones or their tablets or their monitors. Now, when we look here, you have the viewer component here. We are working with a phone, and that's why you're seeing the phone here. If you're working for a tab or with a tablet or for an app that is going to be used in a tablet, you can see the settings or the screen dimensions changes. You can also be creating for a monitor. As you can see, the screen dimensions are going to change. Now, let's deal with the font size, which is what is best and for now and for me. Now, as I was saying, we have the components here that you can use. Whether if you're dealing with the user interface, what do you want to be viewed on your screen? So we're going to be doing a lot of dragging and dropping. So the first step is basically have an output overview of how your screen is going to look like. So like, let's say we're giving an example of creating an app for a quiz. That's the name of our app. So the first thing I'd want, let's say I'd pick an image. And this image, as you can see, I can give the height Let's see, I can give it a percentage of some sort. Let me give it 45 in terms of height, as you can see, and then I can do a square of 45 by 45, percentage 45. Then I need to select my image. So I'll click on my picture source, and then I'll choose my source from my pictures. Let's say that's the one I'm choosing. Okay. Now it's going to upload. And there you have it. So now that is the first thing. I'm looking at my output. When somebody logs in or when somebody opens my app, how is it going to look at? I can drag and drop a button. And now this button will either be to welcome or to prompt this person to click on next. So I can rename my button. Now remember, there are two. There's a name that is going to appear on the screen. Now if I want to change that, I come here and click. So I can say start. And the name of my button, I can rename it to text, as right now is press enter. So that now it can change to start. Now, the name of the button is button 1, but maybe I can rename it. And let's say, let me just use e.t.c1 for easier. And please, when you rename, don't forget, because you're going to use it when you're programming it or when you're doing the designer block. Now, once I click on start, it should take me somewhere else. So what I'm going to do is add a screen. So I can call it screen 2. And what will happen in screen 2, I can have my questions. So the first one, I have a label. So basically drag and drop. You can have a multi-level sort of question or sort of application question, or you can have a direct app where you're asking your question. So like, let's say I'm just doing a very simple app for 2 questions, and that is that. So what I do, I ask my first question, like, let's look at what does the acronym, that's how you write acronym RAM stand for? That is our question. Press enter. So what does I missed an S. What does the acronym RAM stand for? Now, I want us to have the answer. So like, let's say I can see I want one text button and the other text button for my answer. So what will happen is, for my text button 1, I can have an answer, RAM, so random access math. You can have this one, having the correct one, read only, read access, access memory, and now the third one, memory. So I have the 3 options. Then I can have another button that can click on questions. So now, that is my first screen. My question is there, my answers are there. So far, I have not programmed anything. Now, for me to go, I need to create all my screens. So I'm going to add another screen. So screen number 3, which is going to now, when you click the next question, that's where it's going to go to. So screen 3, click OK. Waiting for it to come up. So I can have one that says take the test again. So take test again. I just gave out one question so that you guys can get a feel. If you're doing a big app or a comprehensive app, you can have as many questions as you can. For me right now, I'm just showing you how to create them, and now this one can be exit. Now we have our three screens, screen 1, screen 2, and screen 3, but we have not programmed anything. So now let's go back to screen 1, and now instead of blocks, we do the designer. So once I click on the designer, is everything okay? Everyone can see my screen, right?
Right, we can see your screen.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so now what happens now? I have the two. When you look at the designer, when you look at the blocks, I have an image and I have a button. Now I don't want to program my image. I want to program my button. So what I will do, I'll come to my button. I click on it and then I choose. When button 1 is clicked, what will happen? So I want to have a control which is going to open another screen. I drag and drop there. And now what is my screen name? The screen number 2. I click there and then I write screen 2. So that is if you have as many items on your screen 1, you can program them. You're just picking and dropping them. So according to my app, when I click on start, it's going to open screen 2. Now let's go to screen number 2 where I have a few items. So I have button 1. So button 1, if you remember correctly, this was our question. So what does the acronym RAM stand for? We need for them, once they click on the answer, it is either going to tell them that is correct or that is wrong. So now, and the answer was the third one, if you're not a teacher or a computer teacher. So when button 1 is clicked, what do you want to do? So, sorry. So what do you do when button 1 is clicked? So I'm looking for the control that I want in terms of what to do. When button 1 is clicked, random access, I want it to turn to red and tell them that that is wrong. No, it's not a procedure, sorry. Control. Where's the control I'm looking for? Turn color, when button 1 is clicked, there's a control I'm looking for and I've lost it. I have lost the control. Lord help me. This is how I go about. Okay. No. It's not a string thing. It's a list, it's color. Maybe I can change color when it's red. I've actually lost the control here. Good Lord. What do you do when you lose control of your class? I have lost the control that I was looking at.
You relax and you restart from some point.
I relax and I restart from some point. Thank you, madam.
Yeah, so just go back to something we had done, then you will proceed.
Okay, could you just take it over for a while as I look through, please? Let me stop sharing as I relax. Yes.
Actually,
right.
I wanted to connect my device to a laptop, and I've started the MIT application. So
Good.
yes, I wanted to connect using the scanner to scan the QR code. I don't know if you can take me through again the steps of connecting my device so that I have an emulator.
Okay, Rosie, maybe you tell us how you have done it so far, as we give Grace 1 minute.
Oh, so what I did, I went to my Play Store.
Yeah.
And then I typed MIT to Inventor. Then it appeared, it looks like a B in between two pentagons or something like that. So I picked it and I installed it. Yeah. So it brought the MIT App Inventor too.
Excuse
And
me, Rosie, excuse
yes,
me.
yeah.
Would you mind presenting your screen? You can see what you are doing.
That is on the phone. Actually, it's on the phone. What I'm trying to say, I don't know how I'm going to present it on whatever is on the phone here. I don't know. So I actually went to my Play Store and typed. You can actually go to the Play Store with your phone and you type MIT, then AI, that is artificial intelligence, AI2 companion. MI2 companion. So I picked the first option, and what it told me is to install. I installed it, and I have it on my phone. So the next thing is to open the app, and it gives you two options to connect with your laptop using a code, that is the 6-character code, or scan QR code. So I was trying to scan using the QR code, and I got stuck there. I thought someone is going to help me out.
Okay,
You're a great learner. So,
Uh,
Grace, have you found yourself?
yes, I'm
All
sorry
right, we
about
can
that.
proceed. Okay, great. Karibu.
Okay. Sure. So let's go back. Let me do my presentation.
Grace, as you're
Yes.
doing your presentation, yeah, I was stuck where I'm supposed to connect my computer with the phone. I've already
Yes.
installed the MIT app.
Yes.
I've opened it and it's asking whether I want to connect with the code, the 6-character code, or the QR code.
Yes. Now, using your phone.
Yeah.
Now, as at the moment, you haven't built up anything, or on your screen, you haven't built up anything.
Yes.
Now, look at it this way. Once, sorry to do this. Once I click, you can see the options that I'm giving here. It's either I'm going to connect with my AI companion,
Yeah.
which is going to scan,
Yeah.
or I'm going to do an emulator, or I'm going to do a USB.
Yes.
So all this will happen when you're creating, once you're building your application.
Yeah.
Are we together?
Yes.
So at the moment, since you haven't done anything,
Yes.
the one on the phone, you just hold on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hopefully, once we do a demo, you can see how to go about it and
Yes.
how you can connect. Because even if I create this one right now, the app that we are creating right now, because we are not on the same Wi-Fi, you guys can't test it out.
Okay. Okay.
But now I'll encourage you, once I've shown you how to do this, you can do a lot. And even as Fred is going to come up and tell us, there are other ways in which you can use this with artificial intelligence. It's very wide, it's very broad. This is just a section, a very minuscule section of it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. All right, yeah.
Now, class, sorry. I must have exhausted myself so much that I forgot what I was supposed to do. So now, let's go back to my project. We were working on quiz. So when button 1 is set, what I want is to set the label. I want to set the label as visible, label 1, which, and then I can put a color because the first, I want them to know that that is wrong. So let's say this to red. Come here, make it fit there, and it's not. Awesome. There. Okay, delete that. I don't know why it's refusing to fit right in there. Why are my machines misbehaving? Anytime I'm presenting, my machines misbehave. This is so wrong. I need it visible. Yes. Hello. Yes, hello. Somebody was talking.
It's okay. It's just the mic that was unmuted.
Oh, it's the mic that was unmuted.
Yeah, so it's okay.
Okay. I don't know why my machine has hung all of a sudden. I have no idea why.
We have seen how you can drag and drop it there. If it's not
Yes.
working, you move on to the next concept. We keep moving.
Okay. We keep moving. So now, once you're done, let me just my window. Let me present my window. Sorry about that. So once you're done, you're gonna have something like this. Now I've just had to open up another app that or another project that I was working on so that you can see. So I'm going to text, send it to wrong and color to that. Once you're done, so this was going to be the question. So when you look at it here, what does RAM stand for? Either read access memory or random access memory. And then you submit your answer, then you move to next. So now, once you're done, like once you've finished with it, so it's either you do it again or exit. So now, Rosie, this is where you are. When you finished creating all your screens, when you finished creating your application, what happens next? Now, this is where you take up your phone, whether you're connecting it to the USB or you're connecting it to via AI Companion, you pick up your phone, you have the MIT app installed on your phone, you basically just scan. Either if you're using the AI companion, so if you choose AI companion, it's going to give you a code, and now that's the code you're going to scan and wait for it to build. That is if you're using. Now, if you're scanning, it will show you that that is happening. Establishing Mekata. Now, if you're using, I don't know, oh yeah, because I installed it to connect it to USB. If you're using the USB, you will connect via USB. So you'll connect your phone that you have installed. There's the application that you downloaded because it's an application that you download and you install, and then now you connect it to your phone, and now that's how you build. Now this is basically having a test run. Once you have test run, now I can show you how it's going on my phone because now I can share my phone screen. So once you have finished and you're seeing it's okay, you can now either download it. So you either build it for a QR for the application or as an APK for your computer. So what happens is it's going to compile. Building the APK. was a very simple one. And there goes your code. So now what will happen is I'm going to scan my code and see if it's going to work on my machine. I mean, on my phone. So, now I can't show you my phone because now that's what is happening. It's actually downloading a file. It's an application file. Let me just copy it to the, let me copy the link and maybe share it to the chat. And let's see if you guys can be able to install it. Let me paste and press enter. See if you can. Now for you, if your phone does not allow for you to install from unknown sources, please make sure you do that. So once you allow installation from other and external sources. Now once that is done, you're going to install. And I can show, I don't know if I can show my screen, but I'm trying to install it on my phone. Anybody who's able to install it, I've sent the link on the chat section.
So where do you go exactly to install it? You go to the...
You have the link that I've sent.
Yeah.
You click on it. Once you click on it on your phone, it's going to redirect you. Because now this is an app. You can see now it's downloading on my computer. Now if it's on your phone, it will download and prompt you to install it. Because now it's just an app that is going to install.
So we go to our
just
browser.
Try it and see.
Because
just go to Now, I've sent it on your chat. Now, if you can access that link on your chat, you just click. Yes, Fred, I'm going to redo
it's on the chat area of the Meet.
Yeah, I can
the chat
see
area of the Meet.
There.
Yeah. Yeah, sent it.
So
and then kindly Stephen Marende. Stephen, unless you're showing us your face, kindly you may mute your video. Thank you.
Okay, has anyone been able to, as we go back and
just
redo this?
Just give us some time, because we are typing.
I've managed to install it, but now if I was to hold up my, let me stop sharing. If I'm to hold up my screen, I'm pretty sure it's blurred. You can see because of the light, right?
Yeah.
Can you be curious?
Oh, please, can you redo the from scratch? Excuse me?
Yes.
Can you please do the from scratch? I think that would be better for us. The newcomers who have come in, so we can just do it again. Just do from scratch again. I think it will be better. Maybe 10 minutes. We'll see what you have done so far. Thank you.
Okay, sure. So let's start from scratch. Now, at least this one, you're going to go fast.
We want to move with you, Grace. We want to move with you so that we try out
so
from
for the
these
newcomers, we are dealing with MIT App Inventor. Okay, have you been able to install it? Because now I'm redoing the app
I'm on
again,
the last,
but you're going to get
slash.
You're on the last, oh, okay. Now, for those ones who are new, let's start again so we can start a new project. So you click on start a new project. You give the project a name. Let's give it a redo, because that's what we're doing right now. So this is a redo. So we wait for so you have your area. So we have the blocks or the interface where this is how your screen is going to look. You can make it as colorful as you want. Now for us, we're doing a very simple one. We can either do a label or an image. For us, the first one we did an image, and you can put a picture, upload it, depending on how you want how you want your app to look like. So that's going to be our image, waiting for it to be uploaded. Now it's too big. Let me just give a percentage. Let's say what, 50 in terms of height, and in terms of width, just do another 50. Okay. There you have it. And then I want to have a button that is going to help me start my quiz. So I can just say, I'm going to put that as start, capital S as the start. Yes, start. Press enter for it to be renamed. So that is going to be the welcome screen of our app. So the next thing, I'm going to add a screen. This is going to be screen 2. And for screen 2, now, depending on how you love your programming, you can program it as you go. So now if I go to screen 1 and I click on the designer, I can do button. When I click on this, what I want it to do is to open another screen. And now we're opening another screen, which is, the name is screen 2. Okay, so for now I'm done with screen 1, because when I click on start, according to my code, it's going to open screen 2. Now screen 2 is where my question is going to be. So I can have my label here. So pick, drag it, and drop it. Ask your question. So like you can ask the question, what is the CPU? What is the CPU? I'm just doing a very basic question as an example. What is the CPU, or what is the function of this? What is the CPU? Press enter. So that is my label. Unaweza irembesha venye vyote wataka, and then you pick a button. Now you can have like the common answers I keep getting. This is the brain of the computer as an answer. The brain of the computer. So that's the text that is going to appear. Or you can have another one here, and you can have the whole. You can have a description of what it is. So you can have one that's saying the hub, stroke, where processing takes place. So this is your quiz. However it is you're creating it. Now we can have another one. Sorry, pick up a label here. For me, oh sorry, it was not supposed to be a label. Delete that. It's supposed to be a button where I'm either submitting or I'm going to next. So what will happen is I'm going to rename this and click on next. Okay. So I have my question. If I want, you can have a series of questions depending on how it is. Now, if you're skipping scores or if you're doing a quiz that has marks, you have your storage here, which is the TinyDB. You just drag it and it's going to appear. You give the name, and that's where you're going to be keeping scores. But now for us, right now, we are not dealing with the score. I'm just showing you how to work about it. So we have our screen 2. We have one question, the brain of the computer, or this. And then we have next. Now we can build it up. Well, I'm going to click on the designer. So I have when button 1 is clicked. What do I want to do? I have my label. I want to set the label background. Before I do that, set label to visible text color. Set label. Drag, drop it. So I'm going to set to the text color. I can do the text color to my colors here. To red, and then I can have another label where I'm going to set in terms of, for it to be visible, make sure you're placing it off so that you can have the background color. Let me just remove that. So I set it to visible, and then what I'm going to test, the first answer, I want it to say wrong. I have no idea why this is not. I don't get it. Right now it's not working again. Yeah, it was working. Let me delete that. Let me also remove this because it's visible. We can do the label. Let's have text color is already there. I want to show it is wrong. Let me put text here. No, because that's text color. Label. Visible, set label on visible here, and set it here. I have no idea why my text control is not working. Because now I wanted to write it wrong, that when but it doesn't, I don't know why it doesn't fit there at the moment. I'm not understanding why it's not working. But that, it should show us that is wrong. And then if I click on button 2, when it's clicked, you can set the text color to red. I don't know why it's not working. Text color visible. I can text this, and now it can be green to show that that is the correct answer. Colors to show that it's correct. And then I have the third button, which was to go next. Now the next is going to open. Let me add a screen. Let me add screen 3. So when I click on next, it's going to open screen 3. I go to designer, I choose screen 2, button 3. When I choose button 3, when it's clicked, what I want it to do is to open another screen. And now I want it to open screen number 3. That works. There is no space, screen 3. So once I'm done with that, now I'm going to go to screen number 3. Screen number 3, I've not put anything, so I can put something where it's going to take, either take the test again, or exit. So I click another button and just choose it and click on exit. So once I've done that, I'm going to come to the designer. So when button 1 is clicked, I want it to open, control, open screen, to open a screen, to open another screen, and I want it to go to the first screen, which is screen number 1. So screen 1. So it's going to create a loop of some sort. Screen 1. And when button number 2 is clicked, I want control, exit, or close the application. And there it is. Once you've done that, you're sure that you have come up with your application. What you do is now you test it out. Now, if you're using the AI companion, that's the option you will choose. If you're using an emulator or the USB, you connected your phone to your USB, that is what you will choose. So now once you've selected the AI companion, or if you're using the USB, it's going to give you a code. Now remember, you have installed the application on your phone. And once you have installed the AI companion on your phone, it's going to give you the option to scan the QR or to put in the code. Now, once you put in, that's where you're going to test it out. Any questions so far?
For you to be able
Any
to,
questions?
yeah, there is a question here. For you to be able to
Yes.
go to that window for creating whatever you're creating, yeah, you must install
Yes.
the MIT on your computer. Then,
Now, if you're going to be using via USB,
yeah,
you have to install it to your computer. There is an executable file you have to download. It's about 70 MB. You're going to install it on your computer. Then you can be able to use the USB
mhm. And if
on
you're
your
using
phone. Yes.
the QR, the other,
Now, the QR comes in when you have already finished.
yeah,
When the QR comes in when you've created your app, you've done the building, and now you want to test it out. That's where the code or the QR will come about.
okay.
Yes.
So once I install it on my computer, I can start building the app.
Yes. Once you've installed it, you can start building your app. No, were you able to install the link that I sent, the app, the trial?
Nah, it never worked on my side.
Oh boy, it never worked on your side. Because
Yes.
on my side it installed and it worked. Anybody who was able to install it?
It also didn't work for me,
Uh-huh.
but maybe it's because I've not installed the one of the computer. What do I need to install on the computer?
There is an executable file. Let me just share a link where you can download the executable file.
Mine is downloading the APK.
Yeah, yeah.
It's downloading. Yeah. So the link is working on my side, but you didn't show us how you come up with the APK. You didn't show us how you publish.
Oh, sorry. I just showed up the first group. I showed them how to download the APK. Janice, yours is not working. Have you, for those of whose theirs is not working, have you allowed your phone to install from external sources? Because if your phone
Yeah.
is not set to allow installation from external sources, it won't accept.
So we can go where to activate that.
On your settings,
Then
on your settings,
yeah.
now I'm pretty sure the settings are okay. The app, I don't know. Okay, I'm looking at mine, but I'm pretty sure settings are more of phone specific.
Let's see.
And then now you can there's an option whether you to install from external sources or unknown sources, that it can be structured. Okay, now let me just build it up for those ones. Now once you're done, let me present it. Can't go be the activation code. Please elaborate what activation code. Oh, Janice, what do you mean by the activation code? So as I'm waiting for Janice to answer me that, now once you have done, you build it up. So you can either build it up for the phone or you build it up for the computer. So you click on that and it's going to build, you can see it's building up the application. I'm waiting for it. And then we have my barcode for that. When I click on it, it's going to download. Fred, your question was how to?
I've shown it. That's what I wanted you to do. You have done it already. You have shown.
Yes. Yeah, so not unless there's another question. I'm still waiting for Janice to tell me what is the activation code that she's talking about. Fred, you can present your screen, you can present your bit on artificial intelligence as I wait for reactions from the members.
Thank you so much. Maybe can you give them 5 minutes more? If somebody has a question. Yeah. Maybe a trial and want to share. Maybe you can share their screen.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, Janet.
Hapo pa nini after nimeenda kwa Play Store. I hope you understand Swahili.
Yeah, I'm looking at the question.
After nimeenda hapo inanipeleka mahali inasema type in character code ama scan. Sasa hapo I'm not able to move beyond there.
Now, let me get Janet. You have clicked the link that I've sent at the chat, are you at the Play Store? Where are you?
I'm using two machine, niko na simu na niko na laptop. Hii ya umetuma, I've tried, inaishi hapo kwa redirecting, it's not giving me anything. Nikienda kwa hiyo file, hiyo trial, it's not opening.
Kwa simu, umeclick kwa simu ama kwa laptop?
Laptop.
Sasa hii venye tumeitengeneza ni ya simu, hatuja download ya hiyo link nimepeana, si ya laptop, ni link ya app application on Android.
What do you excuse me, maybe if you could elaborate and show, there are two ways of doing that. You can go back again and show that you can do it for the phone, or I think there where the problem is. Just show on the screen.
Let me be. Okay.
For the screen and the other one.
Yeah. Okay, now when we talk about building it, when I built it up for an app in terms of using on my phone, or I can build it as an APK to my computer. So if we want to use it for our computers or on the computers, we click on build and it shows the second option, which is going to be for the computer. And after compiling it, it's going to finish. Let's just wait for it. So now this link that I will send is for the computers. The first one requires SIM. We are waiting for it to finish up. Any other questions? And Steven, yes, you can actually build a game on this app. There's a project here. Let me show you. I had created a ball bounce. Let me see if I can be able to show you. So basically, this was just a game that you can play using your phone, where the ball bounces around the edges of the screen. So very simple. I went to the drawing and animation. I picked up my canvas. I put my ball, and basically when I go to my designer, I just put when it's flung, what will happen. When it reaches the edge, what will happen. Once I'm done, I publish it or I build it up either for my phone or for my computer. So let's try for the phone and see if it will work. So you can do even a whack-a-mole. I tried using the whack-a-mole, this game. you welcome all back into their hole. You can use Appinventor to create games. Like I said, this is just an skill example. So once you're done, let me see if I can share the link. Let's copy that link and I share it on the, let me stop sharing right now. I can come to the chat and paste it there. That was just an example of a game, but you can make it as elaborate as possible or as elaborate as you want it to. Any questions?
I think we are not able to access the link because we are using computers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that is our shortcoming. When you are typing
What
yeah.
I'll do, I'll copy the two links and I'll send them to the GG Kenya Telegram and WhatsApp group so that you can see what we were doing.
Yeah.
I'm hoping all of us are members.
If you can do that, can you do it right now?
Immediately, right now.
Yeah, so that we try and see what is happening on our side.
So, okay. I'm sharing it right now to the Telegram site. GG Kenya. So if you're on Telegram, I have sent the first link. And then I'm sending the second link. You can try it on your phone. And you see how that works.
Okay, thank you very much, Grace. Anyone with a question from the participants? If there are no questions, then I think we can go on to have Fred tell us something about artificial intelligence.
We are still waiting for the link on WhatsApp. If she's yeah. So Grace, don't forget.
Welcome, Fred.
Thank you so much for the presenters and everybody, all the members. And it has been a very interesting one. And I think what you should do is practice, practice, and practice. That's the motto. You just do it 3 ways: practice, practice, and practice. But I think we'll be sharing the links from if you are on our groups, we'll share the Google Drive and the links so you can work on it. So the more sources will be coming there. So for us today, okay, this was hands-on activity more. So this one will be more of theoretical and some videos to see how artificial intelligence is working on. So for a start, I'm going to share my screen. Awesome. Now I'm the presenting mode. So excuse me for that. Yeah, definitely that's our logo for DG Kenya. And we have also our Twitter handle and website. So that one you can share later. Their topic was about MIT App Inventor and the good things that Grace has talking over. So we need to work on that. I'm the presenter here. And so we'll start with a quote here. As you can see what David Waters has said, that computers are able to see, hear, and run. So welcome to the future. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, so visualize a computer which is like a human being, which has those three senses. It can see, it can hear, and it can learn. Just say like a kid. We have a young kid and has been born and is growing up. So do you imagine, like when we define computers, the basic definition, we talk that the hardware, we talk about being electronic, mechanical, with set of instructions. Now that you are giving them now intelligence. So that's the idea. The computers which are static, now we are adding them intelligence. That's the idea. So these are computers in future. So I want us to visualize on that graphic here, and then maybe just 2 minutes, look at the infographic here and see how artificial intelligence is used. So as you can see, it's being used everywhere, from politics and government, banking, events, insurance, cybersecurity, smart homes, events, social networks, real estate, agriculture, healthcare, online shopping, aerospace, sports, mobile, workplace, entertainment, hospitality, media, gaming, communication, transport, and our favorite one, education. So you can see the artificial intelligence is going to affect each and every one of us. So if we have a good look at that, you could realize that that is how artificial intelligence is going to work on us. It's going to affect each and every one of us. So there's a very famous computer scientist. It's called Andrew G, and is one of the fathers of artificial intelligence. And what he said about artificial intelligence, so remember, electricity was discovered 100 years ago. And you see, with the advent of electricity, it made everything possible. We could not be having computers if there was no electricity. Let's talk about the development which has been done in the world. So you understand the power of electricity. So like oil. So also people talk about oil, the invention of oil. So the invention of electricity, so AI is being termed as a new electricity by Andrew Ng. So there is a link here, but that one we'll share later. For the person who want to follow Andrew Ng, is a computer scientist and is a founder of course. If you have worked on MOOCs, the massive online courses, and deep AI for running. So let's see what is a definition of artificial intelligence. So as you can see, it's saying that artificial intelligence is everywhere. Let's take a good example of our phone. So these days you use your phone to open up. People say they have a smartphone, which is recognizing your face, facial recognition. So that's a good example. What you're holding in your hand is already using AI. And do not want artificial intelligence to be magic. So let's say we teach our kids that artificial intelligence it is magic. It's not. Actually, artificial intelligence is data. Just making data smart. And that's the idea. So you can see from here, major companies in the world are using AI from Microsoft. So like when you're using the Google, as we were talking about the last time, Rosie talked to us on Google Docs. So when you look at Google Docs, for example, they're bringing something called smart composing. So when you be typing in Google Docs, it will be suggesting for you what you are supposed to type, like in Gmail. So that's a good example of AI working. You have Netflix, the movies, people who love movies, and I know Grace is loves on that. So they Netflix recommends movies for you on YouTube. YouTube uses that one. Facebook. So you can understand why is that your YouTube, when you are Facebook, it's not the same with the other person. If all of us who are opening Facebook accounts, you find that each has different on your news feed. If you love sports, Facebook algorithm will just pick you. So your Facebook, when you open your Facebook account, is not the same as the other person who has opened Facebook. So we have face detection that is being used everywhere. And then we're talking about predictive searches. Like we're hearing about something called Corona COVID-19. And last time you had the president saying that they're using a model. Some call it a model, example, model. So model is predictive. They're using artificial intelligence to project that if they, for example, they don't increase the beds in the county hospitals, what will happen? So you are hearing something like having 300 beds and such kind of stuff. So predictive is being used by everywhere, by the government, like the COVID-19, it's being used to predict. And then recommendations, that is from something like Netflix, to recommend for you the movies. You have about autonomous cars. So in future, we are having cars which are going to have, they're not going to have a driver. They are called autonomous cars, and even companies like Google, Apple, and even the one which is popular for taxi, the one we use for taxi. I'll remember the name later. Education, that's our favorite. It's being used. So in future, we'll also handle on that one. Health and phone. So there's a link down here. So that one will come later to see how it's there. And so what's artificial intelligence? That's is a branch of computer science. So it's concerned with making computers behave like humans. So that's the basic understanding of AI. So you make computers behave like humans. And the term was coined by 1956 by a computer scientist known as John McAtee at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And now we want to go have an example of Google. So here, Google now is what Google is going to do. It's adding with an update, and this update is going to help you to when you, for example, the noise on the background. So for example, you are on a meeting, and your dog barks or taps, or maybe you are eating, or you are drinking water or something. So Google has come with a new feature called noise cancellation, and maybe we'll play this one and see how it goes.
So I want to keep on and
We cannot hear the clip.
There's some echo on the clip. Maybe let's just move ahead and play it later, and maybe look at the future of the companies. You are saying about 400 companies in future. 40% of Fortune 500 companies. Fortune is a magazine which ranks computers in terms of their greatness, and they're just predicting in about 10 years coming in. we're going to find about 40% of companies which are here, they're not going to exist. And so let's see about, I'll just go, because of time, I'll just go on the slides, so it will be self-explanatory, or just maybe on the videos what I will just show. So on robots, we are saying that robots and automation will take about 800 million jobs by 2030. So that is another idea. And so I don't know if, let me try and play this one. I hope that there will be no echo.
Everybody, this is Sophia. Sophia, if you could, please wake up and say hello to me.
Future initiatives.
I'm sorry, because there's an echo, I'll not be able to play these videos. So what will happen is that I will share the Google slide. So for you to go and play at your own time, because of the time, there's a problem with the echoing here, the device I have here, so there's an echo, so you'll not be able to hear it. So to avoid that, best way I would do is that, let me just go over the slides, and then maybe I will share it's in the form here on the comment section, so that you can just tap it, copy it, and maybe play at your own time. So
yeah, that is okay, Fred.
Yeah, I think that's the best
Unless
way.
if you play them live from YouTube, then they will
there
be
is no
able to play.
Yeah, the problem with the YouTube was the advert. I was just avoiding adverts, so I put them on our blog. So the best thing I will do is I'll just share it there. You just pick it on there, and then it's shareable. It's public, so you can use it. So just copy it on comment section, and then you just play it. So I think that's the best way, so that I can just go through everything there. Sorry for that. So for example, you can see here, there's a video also, the source here is a video also. You can just tap it when you are free time, you just play it. So the channel is showing how you can turn AI, that's artificial intelligence, and robots in coronavirus control. So those are uses of the robots. And now there's a question here for us. Why fear a future of technological innovation when we can look at it through a creative and a solution-focused perspective? And that's a question I think each and every one of us supposed to ask, because people are fearing the future in terms of artificial intelligence, what it can do or not do, the robots, the advancement of robots, and other stuff like. So if we go, okay, this one we have done. On this one also we have done, she has done it. The history, I won't just even do it a lot, because already we have done it. You said that the history of AI started in the 1950s. And the purpose was to do what we call a use of task like classifying images. So that one we will elaborate on it later, how you can use machine learning to use on classifying images. And of course, she has done that one. Yeah, a good example, let me add on this one, the Chromebooks, because when Grace was presenting, she did talk about that you can use your Apple, for example, your Windows phone, or maybe MacBooks. So Google has some computers called Chromebooks, and they are cloud-based. So this one, I think we'll tackle them later in one of our presentations. So Chromebooks, as you can see on the board, they can also support Android apps. So I know some of us were fortunate to handle them. So when you can use the Chromebook to help you on that. So you cannot even have the issue of downloading. Then you have challenges of saying that you are downloading the APK and it's not working. So the Google Chrome has everything, as you can see, and it can be installed directly on Chromebook. So they can run the ID, what the presenter was showing, the environment, the one which was used for programming, and even the AI to combine on the same machine. So maybe in future, and the Chromebooks are very cheap. They can even go as less as $120. That's around 12 to 13,000. But they are good for our kids. So in future, maybe you can think about when you're buying a notebook, think on the same. So let's see. We're talking about AI in education because that's a field which is actually more concerned with us. So let's talk when you see AI in education. You have an example. Last year, actually this year, we were fortunate to have some Microsoft chose some teachers, about 16 teachers in the world, to reflect on AI in education. But I've shared the link also on the same. So we were working on TweetMeet, and it was a global. So maybe you can see some of the faces here. So these are the guys who are doing the AI. So we have resources on the same. They did the work rate. So we have resources on what we worked on and the hashtag. So we were about 16 of us working on AI in education. So we had resources on the same. So you can see there is I did a Medium blog on this. So you can catch up on it. And now we work on artificial intelligence, which is concerning us on the education sector. And now, so what will happen, for example, in education? Let's say because if a student asks you in education AI, what's going to happen in education, for example? How will it impact teachers? A country like Japan or China, they're having robots teaching, giving an assignment. So they come to a class, the robot gives assignment and other stuff. So as you can see on the screen here, you can see what it can do. If AI can pick students, you used to maybe something like facial recognition, and you find that your student is weak. You don't say that the way teacher say that your student is not talented. So they don't say, we say students don't have challenges. So what AI can do, it can use facial recognition in a classroom, and it pinpoints to a student, and it says that maybe the attention span of the students is wrong. So what it will do, it will have what we call in levels of individualist running. So it will just pick the student and then can give an assignment on the same. So it can also work on programs, games, software, as what we have seen like MIT App Maker. Itself is made using AI. So that's an example, and we are using it as a tool for education. And now, we've been talking about artificial intelligence. So, but in terms, you'll be hearing terms, people talking about artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and neural networks. So I thought it's good for us to at least to go and pinpoint what we mean by machine learning. So what's the machine learning? So it's a way for machine to analyze data. We say that when we talk about artificial intelligence, it's not doing anything magical. It's about data. When you collect more data, because you are getting more data these days from Facebook, from Twitter, from YouTube, what we post on our social media, what we have on actually on social media. It's on movies, videos, YouTube. So that's where data is coming in, and then you're analyzing. So it's called data set. For example, all the countries which are having data for what the World Health Organization has done, it has brought up organization to give data for each any update on coronavirus. So they use that data, they correct it. It's called data set, and they can use it for analyzing and output. So when you are given the data, when you have done analysis of it using data scientists, so you can predict and give an insight. So as you can see, a machine learning brain, it's data. And the brain, so when you hear the president talking about model or model, so model is the brain of the computer. We have programs which do on that. And then you get what? The results. So, and then we have something called deep learning. So after machine learning, those are subsets. So when you move from artificial intelligence, you come to machine learning. So when you come from machine learning, you come to what we call deep learning or neural networks. So this was, it's a complex, it's not really complex, but it's saying it's going more further. Now, deep learning is more like a human being. They are modeling some solutions which resemble a human brain. You know, a human brain has something like 90 billions of neurons when you do from your biology class, you remember. So they're just mimicking. When you talk about deep learning, just take your mind to a human brain and the way human brain thinks. It's just something called neurons, and it has to input and output. So this is a subset. So these are three together. When we hear about AI, you hear about machine learning and deep learning. Those are subsets. So start with the artificial intelligence, AI, then you come to machine learning, then you come to deep learning. So deep learning, it's just like a human brain. And then we will be learning about the types of running called supervised and supervised, like how you train a young kid. This is for rewards. For example, when we train the K1 kids, the nursery kids and kindergarten, how when you teach them, they do something, say them craft for them. So that's what they're talking about running. So there's something called supervised and unsupervised. So those are terminologies in machine learning and deep learning. So deep learning is also known as the neural network. There's a link you can tap data, and there's a resource here for the video also, because I cannot play it now. So when we talk about AI and machine learning, according to Google, so is the general study of making intelligent machines. So that is it. Simple. Is the general study of making intelligent machines. So like a human being. And then machine learning, which is a subset, ML, focuses on the ability of machines to receive data and run from themselves without being programmed. So I want us to pay attention on this one and know that we don't have anything like to do with programming here. Like now, someone could ask you what the difference between having AI and programming. So this one, as you just put data, it runs like a young kid. Though you teach a young kid to know this is something in a trauma, for example, in Swahili, let's say you've cooked food and then the kid is trying to put his finger. So as time goes by, the kid will know that if you put your finger here, that's the same way. That's how it's running, and then you get banned. So after some time, the machines are receiving data, and you know how the human being receives data. You receive data using your eyes, you receive data using your ears from sound, you use data from your tongue when you're testing food. So a human being has organs which are receiving inputs and data, and then it takes them to the brain, which is a model, for the brain to digest them and analyze and say, oh, there's a danger here, this smell from the nose, this smell is for the food. That's the idea. Just put that idea on that one. So we don't have anything to do with coding, like the way you do normal programming and other things like that. So when programming and machine learning, you train. So that's what you're calling. The same word you use as a kid. You take a kid from class 1 and 2. So a machine is called you train. You put that data and you train it. After training, then you adjust and improve. So then they're related also with what we call data science. So data is in that disciplinary subject that uses some. So what the data scientist is doing is using some knowledge of machine learning and AI to make predictive. Like now, what the president was talking, just a good example, he was talking about models and on coronavirus, what will happen after 3 months. Kenya was expected to have 10,000 cases. They are saying up to September, we have a plateau, sort kind of things. So the scientist is using that knowledge from machine learning to do some algorithms. And then there's a curriculum also, they will tap here, I'm sorry for that. There's a curriculum here, you can tap all these URLs, which you can go on further. There's an example here. So coronavirus, our artificial intelligence, data science and technology used to fight the pandemic. There is a source here also on the same, you run on that at your own free time. And now, I saw it fit when we're talking about AI, it's not so magical. So we have some ideas like Scratch. Scratch as I said it's good that you have some programming languages which you can use to do AI. So Scratch as parameters, as resources. So these are resources, you can tap them. These are resources for AI, you can use them in Scratch to do Scratch here. We have AI project, you have Python, which are very popular programming languages. It has resources, so you just tap on the link here. Then you have that's a top 20 Python AI and machine learning projects. So they are open source. You are free. So when you see anything called open source, that implies it's free for you to go and work on it. And now let's talk social media because last time we were tackling, Crested did talk about the internet awesome. So you can see where AI is being used in social media, for example, in fake news. So you can see what they're saying here, that social media companies have hired thousands of employees to prevent, but it's so hard. So instead of having a human being, the giants, social media giants like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, they are using now what to call a manual. They're automating using AI to fight fake news. So artificial intelligence is being used to fight fake news. And so they are training AI, for example, how you fight. And so you can see sometimes Facebook gives you that option, even WhatsApp. When somebody say they are preventing spam and something, WhatsApp even is using also AI. So they're trying to put you on that you want to continue reporting. So that when you maybe Mozilla is telling you report this one, there was an error, or what do you think, and you sign. So this one way of running. So it is using that one on the search to train the AI models. So there's there's an image here on talking in the AI. So just have to go further because they will share this one later. So you can see they're talking about AI here. And this one we have also talked about it on the world company they are using. So Let me use this one, which they are using a chatbot. You hear people talking about chatbot. When you go to a website, for example, and you find there's somebody talking, and maybe people assume that it's a human being who's talking. So you ask it a name, maybe nation say wiki, how can we help you? So people, they are chatbot. So a chatbot is a form of AI. So, and they are used everywhere. And we want to see a very good example, but you can see the potential of it from Forbes, this is a fortune, 1.5 billion. So look at a good example, Safaricom. So Safaricom brought something called Zuri. Zuri is a AI, and everybody's aware of that. So when you talk about Zuri comes like it's actually it's even in WhatsApp. So Zuri works 24/7 to enhance Safaricom experience, and it's available. So you understand how you can use Zuri for one of the foreign samples here. You can use it for getting a PK, M-Pesa, reversal, chargeable. So when you hear that ready is talking, people have that ready would have to talk. Like when you're using even Google Map. So Google Map uses when you're driving. So you don't need even somebody to help you get the direction. You just put on Google Map, it will give you direction up to that one. That's a good example of AI. So Safaricom is using Zuri, that one chatbot, to buy all this. So when you can buy handle, and when you have downloaded the Safaricom app, all this one under a chatbot. So this example, there is a resource here. You can just put in, you see. And of course, people say they pre-draft the game, but I want to show you after play the video here and see. But this one, I think I can mute and maybe you can check on what it has done. Maybe you can just see the photos instead of. I don't know if I can play it. They're just showing on how it has how the relationship between this one and how it has gone as a revolution. And you can see Aaron Turing, the father of AI, was a chess player. So just giving a bit of it. So that just a connection, how it's using AI. So this is called AI for good, artificial intelligence for good. And you can see the development of it, how it has gone. I'm sorry, there is no voice, but you can forgive me on that. There is that is from so you can see a robot there playing the game itself. So that's one of the advancements which it has done. And yeah, it's called AI for good. That was it. Now, there is also somebody called AlphaZero. That is a computer which was developed by a company called DeepMind to master the games. So what is going to happen is that when you talk about this game, it is being used as something as like a test bed. So when a machine, the first time when a machine defeated a world chess player, now they have something called AlphaZero, which is using artificial intelligence to compare the human brain and the machines. So far this one, there's a no human being who is able to defeat this one. So there's an example. Now, our today, our main topic was to see how we can do classification and we're using MIT App Inventor. So this image classification, how can you use a computer, for example? We are going to use we are going to do we are going to program, for example, to code in MIT App Maker, and then make your phone discover how it can recognize phones and other images. So it's called image classification. That's one way we can use machine learning to do that one. And this one is we're going to create an app that can classify objects in images using the concept of machine learning in MIT App Inventor. So you can see from here, there is images. Image classification is a process in which an image is matched to a specific word. So they're saying a very good example. You do this one with your eyes and brain, just look around the world. So how are you able to discover that these are cats and difference? So these are what we're going to use now, this MIT, to see how they can do that. And let's see, I have an example here. Machines don't have systems as complex as our brains. So you can see that these images are about cats, but they look so different. They had for a machine to figure out. So how is the machine able to know that this is a cat? Can you see there are two feathers here? So how is the machine supposed to distinguish between these two? So that's become the area of now using. So machine learning, we're going to use a method in App Maker. Let me just go faster on the same. So this is the training. So to teach a machine to recognize, you give it a training example. So let's have an example on what is here. There's a training, there's a testing, and the other stuff. So let's try this one. Let me click on this one. I'm not going to. This is from AppMaker. You can see. Let me see, and you can go to. I just took it very briefly because of there's no sound, and see how they are using MIT Appmaker. See the environment, but fortunately, maybe I can try and do a follow-up on the same. So this is Reddy's working on this one, and she wants to see how she can program image classifier using MIT Appmaker. So just going to see the IDE app interface and see what she's going to do. So, of course, she's using a phone to see how she can classify mobile devices. So she has done already the program, and she's going to see how she can use this phone to know the type of phones. If, for example, you scan that phone, will you be able to know the program has been used using Scratch? So are you in a position to know how is it possible for you to recognize the phone, the images? So that's what she's going to do, and she's giving a demo. So you play the video later because there was a problem with the sound. So what she's trying to do, she's scanning using image classification to see if the phone can recognize that phone. That's image classification. And she has been able, as you can see on the screen, it has been able to classify it. There's two tabs there which she has used. It's an app she has created, and she has been able to using 67%. So you can look at the interface, and let's just see the look, because that was one of the main things, how you can use MIT Appmaker to create artificial intelligence. So the good thing, she had already done the program. So what we want to do is just to upload it. So we just have some few looks on the interface, how it looks, and then we will. So look at the interface, how it looks, and let's see what she has to do for us. And so she's just trying to explain what these are talked about, and you can see that the interface is for MIT. Let me see if I can just forward it, go with time. Yeah, already she's here, and she's trying to just program. So I will not just put the order of it, but just look at what is happening. She's just working on both on the code builder, and she's trying to put some figures there and try to code. So these are sources there. So we have shared it already. So it's let me just go forward it. As you can see, there's the interface. She's just working on it, and to see how you can classify it. That's what we did. I'm sorry that the sound was not able to be played, but she's just coding it, and as of time, I'm just forwarding it, fast forwarding, and that is what she had to come with. Yes. So you don't have to worry very much, because you'll be able to see. So this is what Grace took us over. You can see where the code is. Yeah, that's what she has done. First, so she has done this there, what she has done, the end product. So this is what she got. So it's able to train the model to able for a phone to detect. That is a symbol. You see, she has even put her finger there to see how it looks. So, and she has even put a pen. So there's some more modification on what you can do on from the photo. So it's able. The idea here is that it's possible for us to use MIT Appmaker to train your data set to do any classification you want. Like you see what she has put there. There's something like a bunch of there's an equipment there, and she's trying to see, but it's not able. So there's a reason why she'll talk about that one. So that's what brought us here. And there's some resources for you. You just work on it. There's also another sample here. I will not work on this because of time. How you can send it data to Google Sheet using MIT. So when we are doing Google Docs, we saw how the Google Sheet is done. It's just like a Microsoft Excel. So how can you send data using MIT Appmaker? There's another event you can work on your own. And then this one is very important also. Just let me put it. This one you can use it to train your model. Is from Google. it has done for you. So you can upload your photo and images. You can see the interface. So, for example, I can use a webcam to add my images or upload, and then I'll train the model here and get it here. So, if I have photo, for example, from Facebook, I want to train. I have all the photos I have on my Facebook. I download them, and then I can just add them here, and then train them. I'll train them here. This is a site for Google, which I've done for it for training, something called model. Then I will export. So that is what I can. Then after exporting, I can store it and then use it later to upload to work on my MIT project. So I can work on many things. So because of time, you don't have to go on that. So there's hour of code. There's also resource here for hour of code. You can do hour of code, which there's many activities, about 30 activities for your students. There's a resource here. There's a teacher guide for the same. So I won't have to touch on that. And Grace also talked about there's an hackathon, MIT Hackathon 2020. So if you be having done some work on this one, you can be in a position to see if you can involve your students to work on this one. So it's global. This one is a global network. And then there's another site also for Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi has something called, you are working on something called Appinventor for social innovation. So this is 400 events. So for example, this one, you can just have a look at the website, how it looks, and see what kind of work you can do. So there are so many training places you can go and work on App Inventor. So this is for social good. And let's see what Raspberry Pi has for us. So you can see, you can make a map here, a map for I. You can make a quiz. You can make an access tracker. You can make a global food app. So these are exercises for your students. Even yourself, you can work on them. This is from Raspberry Pi. It has MIT App Makers. You can work on this one. So these are programs for AI. For you can work on them. So you can work on even when you talked about even Scratch. So this is a sample. And there's something we cannot talk about AI if not something called AI for good. So AI has something called bias. The person who's okay, let me put the word programming. The person who's trained the data sets. Let's say you are a white person, and there was a controversy in the US that the models which were using the facial recognition, they were biased against the black person. So if a model is using a data set from the white persons, it predicts that if this is another person, for example, a black person, it will see that person is maybe is a robber or wants to commit crime. So whatever you have, an algorithm can be biased. So you cannot do artificial intelligence minus talking about AI, which is good. So you have to check on the data you are using. For example, which data you put there, because what you train your model to is to, if you put your model, it can even, let's say you are saying you are taking for bright students, a model in school, and you are saying that you are training, giving the AI model for bright students. So your AI model will be selective. It will not even cater for the weak students. So that's the issue of now trusting your AI. So when you talk about artificial intelligence, machine learning, you have to talk about AI ethics. So that's why we're talking about AI for good and trusting your AI. That's a very good component. So you cannot talk about AI and us talking about AI for good and trusting. So before AI can be put into use, must be able to trust any AI solution so they can implement and then can use the data. There's a guideline called data science guidelines for the same. Yeah. I think this time for question and answer session. With that one, I'll just go back and maybe give some another person for questions and also for sharing the screen. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you very much, Fred. You have left us with information overload.
That is my, that's my style. I just don't leave anything by end. So they say, oh, it's an overload, of course, obvious. But I'm up about that because I know you're not.
Okay, so what we can do is to try and go back to those slides whenever they are available. So
let me just copy the URL.
Yeah.
Let me copy it there. Just share them here so you can copy them direct from
your drive, I imagine.
It's shareable. It's anybody can use it. So let me just.
Okay. In the meantime, if you're thinking you have a question, this is the time for it. We have 10 minutes. So
Yes.
the Fred has put the whole link on the chat area. So you can
Thank
go
you so much.
there
You can play
and download. Yeah.
Yeah, the videos are there. So I'm sorry I was not able to play them because of the echo. So everything there for you. You can just use them. You can exercise. You can practice on your own. Thank you so much. If there's any question, please let me know. The floor is open. Because of time, we have 10 minutes to go. So it's free. Maybe Bendite, you can guide us through on that.
Okay. So anybody with a question, just unmute and ask.
Okay, mine is not a question. Mine is just to encourage you guys, especially for the hackathon that is coming up. Sign up. You only have 7 days. Go to the MIT App Inventor, sign up for the hackathon, and let's get cracking. Awesome.
Thank you, Grace. Any other person with something before we conclude? Okay, so make sure you get that link because the chat will disappear soon, yeah? After this, so make sure you download it before the meeting ends.
Hello.
Thank you. They just copy. Just right click and then
Yeah.
you copy on your.
Okay, yes, Stephen. I think Stephen had something to say, but he has gone. Stephen? Stephen?
Okay, mine is just to thank you for the good work. Hello? Mine is to thank you for the good work. I'm sorry I joined late, but I'm really interested. Thank you for the good work. Keep it up.
Welcome. Okay. Any other concern or question? Janice says this is the first meeting on this. Okay, Janice, do you want to say something? It's your first time here.
Yeah, I was just asking, is this the first meeting? Because it's my first time. I don't know whether you're meeting for the first time as well. And thank you, Fred. It's not been for long.
No, we are not meeting for the first time. And I want Fred to answer your question.
All right.
Oh, thank you so much on that. I know we have met with the Janice from British Council many years back. So welcome. So we can follow our YouTube and blog. So we have been doing this. I don't know, Kerry maybe can remember. This is our 10th meeting. We have been doing our training around. This is the 10th something. But you are not lost. So because we are fortunate. We thank we thank Rosalind for helping us to record. So you are not lost. So at least you get the recordings and other stuff like. So this is a team, but if you have something also for us, you are free to join. You can come, you can give your room for presentation. You have the knowledge is just spread. So it's not for one person. So this is and then if you are not in Google Classroom or maybe in our Google group, please let us know so we can add you. So as usual, I'll put my number here.
Yeah,
and then you can just know or Bendite can help you on that. So you can join our Google Classroom and Google group. It's open so that you cannot miss any of these presentations. Thank you so much.
Yes, because I think I was not able to really follow because I thought you have been here for a while.
Yeah, both of us we are readers here, so we have been for some time. So kuna veterans hapa, maybe Benda can talk about that one. She can do what I can do. All of us here. This is there. The other one was missing today. Kralis, all of them, they are readers here. So they are called GG readers, for example. So I know you are coming from Nakuru, maybe you left from Nakuru, and then Rosan is here. Kralis, maybe they can help you on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Fred. I hope, Janice, you feel comfortable. You're welcome. Yeah?
Thank you.
Okay. Now, Fred, your presentation is locked, it looks like. So you're going to receive requests for access. So kindly share it. Yeah?
No problem. I'll just anybody who just request that one. I'm sorry, I don't put it there, but anybody who request, I will just allow you through. Thank you for that.
Fred's number is there. He has put it on the chat area also. So if you want to, if you have a problem accessing that material, just text him or ask him to make it available to you, maybe even via email, Fred?
We shall share it on the Google group and the Google Classroom. So I will make it now to be shareable for the public. I will make the changes and then share it to our. So the challenge is make sure that you are in our Google group and our and our Google Classroom. DG Kenya Classroom. That makes it easier because you cannot remember. Sometimes we forget. And not have all the emails in your brain. Thank you.
Okay. Mary is asking to be added to the WhatsApp group for GEG Kenya. So, Fred, I think that's your honors also. Yeah, okay. Great. So we have 4 minutes to 5, and I think it's a good time for anyone to say anything before we leave. I can see Grace and Rosemary want to say something. So we start with Rosemary, then Grace.
Thank you so much. Can you be able to see my hand raised from your side?
Yes, I can see it.
Oh, you can see it, huh?
Okay.
So I want to really thank Grace and Fred for the wonderful insights that they have given us. And I'd like to join the challenge. Can you please share the link of creating apps? That is the MIT. You are talking about MIT something, yeah? So that, yeah?
Hackathon.
Yes, yeah, hackathon. I would love to be part of it, and it's a great thing. I've seen you create very nice, a very nice and simple application. I'm sure if we get time, we and sit down and try to do it, it's going to be very okay. With your permission, probably you are going to allow us to be calling you so that you take us through the process of developing the app. Otherwise, it was awesome. Thank you so much, Fred. You are very resourceful. And I wish you all the best. For the new members, we'd like to welcome you to our forum. It's very interactive, very informative. We want to thank all the members too. Thank you, Fred.
Thank you so much.
Okay, mine was just a question. Do we really have a WhatsApp group for GEG Kenya? Or we need to create it, Fred?
Please come up again.
Do we have a WhatsApp group for GEG Kenya? Or we need to create it? WhatsApp group.
For members?
Yes.
Yes, we have many. Actually, the other time Ben Dad was actually complaining that there are so many. Can Ben Dad, you know, there are so many. And Nairobi, actually, we have for the G readers. Like now, remember when you were added on the G readers, but we have the one which we visited Google, Google Kenya. We have another one for, there are about 4. So for the G readers, you have to do some whatever. Those who joined DG Kenya, maybe you should have a presented here. So that's the one qualification. And then maybe you did some assignment what you gave there. So, but there are 4. So what you usually do, and what people complain, Mr. Saw is maybe oversharing, you have to share all of them. So if you're putting in a DG Kenya community, then definitely know that whatever is happening, you get it. Because that's my work. I just have to share together of them. I'm sorry for that, but people information is the UN, is the UNESCO, is the right. So if you be any of the group of WhatsApp, so be rest assured that whatever is happening in the readers, you get it. And then we also do the Google Classroom. So the good thing, for Googlers, we talk about Google Classroom. That's the best way, and Google Groups. So that's what we have covered. So to get everybody on in, and for Google Classroom, I'm not the only one. Ben is a co-teacher. Rosen is a co-teacher. Even yourself, Grace, you are a co-teacher. So let's talk about co-classroom. So is each and every one of us, are you in e.t.c Kenya classroom? That's the question. Not even WhatsApp. Are you in e.t.c Kenya? Because you just come into inbox. So make sure that you're in e.t.c Kenya classroom. That's the most important. And then group. You will not miss anything. Even for the forgers which is going around for the Revo 1. Everybody got it. Even Baron can talk on that. They got it in a Google group, not WhatsApp. So just make sure that you are in a Google group and you are in our Google Classroom. So the others, we just get them. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Fred. So Mr. Kitui puts a concluding remark there that we all need to take up the challenge and deliberately grow. And I totally agree with him. So today we can stop there. It's 1 minute past 5. Thank you very much for making the time to be here. Thank you for learning. Go and practice. Asanteni. So feel free to leave at your own leisure.